All right. Hello, everyone. It is Sunday. It is already towards the end of August, the 27th. Can you believe it? How are you doing, Lance? How's it going?
Good today, Kristen. How about you?
Doing good. Doing good. Yeah, here we are again. I'm looking forward to seeing what topics you brought with you today.
Yes, yes, absolutely. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things going on, clearly. We'll get into all the major ones. Uh, the big things happening here in the US. We're all aware of it. Um, and it's all coming out, which is great. It's exciting to see. It's challenging and hard, as we know. We're all being affected and impacted by all the insanity. But we are going to make it through it, and we are going to get through to the other side where it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Very curious to see what you thought of the Tucker Carlson and Trump interview. And there was this little video, you saw it, I'm pretty sure you saw it, of Sleepy Joe getting questioned about how did you like the mugshot? And it was just ridiculous. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what you thought of all that. So yeah, where should we start? Where would you like to start today?
Well, let's just do a general reading for the week ahead and just see what the energies are like. I know that we're
Okay.
towards the end of August and now moving into September.
Yeah.
I think things are going to definitely start picking up. Just it's natural. People are back in school, they're back home from vacations. Uh,
Um,
there's just a lot more activity typically.
oh yeah, definitely. Got my sage burning. I got my cards. Yeah, let's see. What is the energy for the collective from now and until next weekend? Let's take a look. We have the Hierophant, the Fool card. This is very good. Two of Wands. So some of us may feel now with the Hierophant, he goes within. So that's when we go within with our old wisdom that we have, or the way that we're brought up, or things that affected us through our life. Then we have the Fool card. So changing things up, have a new start with something that was old and make it newer. So maybe modernize something that you used to do. Then we have the Two of Wands. So we are going in a new direction. I think this speaks as the world events are occurring because we got the King of Cups. So that has to do with some leader in particular, and then going in a brand new direction. So it looks like we're going to see a twist in the story of what's going on right now. But personally, for the collective, it's throwing away old ways of doing things and then pretty much just giving it a fresh start, like doing things differently in a different way and having a different perspective. So we got a little bit of a mixed bag here. But I do like this one. There's some type of twist. There's going to be a new direction that things are going to take another turn. So this is really interesting.
Yeah, that is. And it's, not going to be surprising either, just given all the events taking place. I'm sure we're in for many surprises and many twists and turns over these coming days and weeks, because now we're really getting into the peak of things, and it's not going to slow down either.
No, not at all. It keeps moving fast.
Definitely. So, a lot of people are seeing and already aware of what's going on with the masks and these mandates. So this Morris Brown College in Georgia, they don't have any cases, and yet they have now re-implemented masks, social distancing, and it probably won't be long until they start, uh, wanting to do more lockdown. So this is spreading. It took place there. There's a film studio, Lionsgate, out in California,
Yep.
a big company. Uh,
Mm.
they reinitiated the construction mask wearing, which is, sad, but also hilarious to see at the same time.
Yeah.
More sad than hilarious, but just, I say it's hilarious because it's
Mhm.
unbelievable that people are still buying into this and falling for this 4 years later, when all of the science that's come out has shown these things only hurt and do no good. They do not help whatsoever.
Not at all. I know, this is just crazy. People are falling for it.
Right, right. And kind of along the same lines with this, the DOJ just charged 371 different people for fraud relating to that CV for over 836 million. Now, what it was not, unfortunately, it wasn't, political personnel or big pharma executives being held responsible just yet, though we know that's coming. This was more just people who were taking advantage of the relief funds that were going out during that time. But like we know, Kristen, there's an operation taking place, and even though it's showing like the public service level is showing that these three-letter agencies are, extremely corrupt and suppressing humanity, we know, at least in the background, some of them are definitely still moving forward with ensuring justice does take place. And, even though the whole situation was, just a fraud, this is good to see that people who are trying to take advantage of that situation on the money, that those people are being held responsible. So we're going to see more of that for sure. But, this Epoch Times article kind of puts this all together, which, they're calling it the election variant. And this article is showing how citizens are pushing back against the mask mandates. Obviously, these two people are wearing them, but this is an old photo. But there's a lot of people speaking out right now, Kristen, as you know, who are already saying, all right, do not comply, get ready, but do not move an inch when they try doing this. And I think that the awakening has taken place to where there is going to be the majority now. I mean, it already was that case, but it's going to be even more so. And even the people who were complying last time, they're tired of this. They don't want to hear this again. This is why all those, medicines were pushed.
Yep.
Try to, you just got to do this and then we're going to get through it. Just comply, just take it and then we'll be done with it. Come on, guys. Just take it and then we can move on.
Yeah, start lining up and let's get you. We'll take care of you. Line up.
Exactly. So, obviously we're being sarcastic with that. We don't support that.
Yeah.
And I'm, trying to spread the word as I can to let people know that this is probably going to be reinstated, but now it's up to us to just fully not comply. And I'm very excited to see this take place because I really believe that this will be the last time as a whole. I mean, it's going to take more than just one day or a few weeks, but this is going to be the last push to where we as humanity overthrow the captors and throw these chains off, because it's clear what they're trying to do.
Yeah, not good.
So kind of tying into this, Kristen, there's a lot of stuff coming out about Brandon and his family. I'm not going to play this clip, but you can see the message. This Shoken, Victor Shoken, he was the prosecutor that Biden was talking about back in 2015 publicly. This clip is still out there when he was talking about, hey, we need to get the prosecutor fired. Otherwise, you're not getting your $1 billion. And then he said, and by God, 15 minutes later, he was fired and I was on my way out. This was the guy who was fired in Ukraine, who was investigating the whole Biden family and others. He's still alive, thankfully, and he's speaking out. And he said the fact that Joe Biden gave away $1 billion in exchange for my dismissal, my firing, is that alone a case of corruption? ? I mean, clearly that's bribery, fraud, quid pro quo on the highest levels, and they will be held responsible. So, this is good. I wanted to show this for a lot of reasons, but show people that he's a real person, and this wasn't just something that we had just heard about. This guy really did get fired back years ago for trying to investigate and do this, but it's good he's living and he's able to speak out right now about this.
Definitely. Yes, he can speak out about it. Wow.
Kristen, so maybe now would be a good time to pull some cards on the situation in Ukraine,
Yeah.
as it relates to the Brandon family. Just in general, where are things at with the full exposure of that?
Yeah, let's take a look. It's been a while since we checked on that, so let's see. How appropriate. The Knight of Cups. So that means there's news coming. There's more exposure coming through because he's a messenger. Then we've got the Ace of Wands. So more public, this is going to be public knowledge. We got that Knight of Swords with the Knight of Cups. So a messenger taking action. Ace of Wands, definitely the divine. That's when like the light is winning. We got the Ace of Wands. So yeah, the truth will be brought to the light. And then we got the Five of Cups and then the High Priestess. So usually when you see something like that with the Five of Cups leading with the High Priestess, that justice is coming. Yes. So we're going to see something public though here soon. There's more action being taken and then truth being brought to the light. So that'll definitely shock a lot of people that are still believing that Ukraine is, the fake story. So this is something for those, it's going to really stun them. They're going to be stunned. Yep.
That's awesome, Kristen. Let's see it. May it be.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So this is a little graph, kind of switching topics, moving over to BRICS. Obviously, last week, BRICS made their announcements. Kind of like we talked about, I wasn't expecting anything, earth-shattering from their summit. I mean, we've had a lot of these things come and go with just chatter and chatter and chatter. Same thing happened. I mean, we know that they're doing things behind the scenes. And there are, a lot of different financial transactions now being done outside of the US dollar. So it is happening. It's just they didn't say a word about gold, about silver, about any metal-backed currencies, any asset-backed currencies. They hinted at it, but in their long note that they put out about this, or statement, they made about 70 different bullet points. And you can search this. They didn't say gold or silver or any metals one time in that whole graph. So what I'm saying is not to be pessimistic about this, but kind of echoing what we've talked about in the past, that these things it isn't going to just be an overnight thing for the currencies and for the whole financial system. I mean, there will be times when announcements will be made and it's going to be done in a day and things take place. Mm-hmm. But as we know, there's 8 billion people and more on this planet, huge amount of people and covering vast amounts of land, and trying to think that we can just in one day or a couple days switch over the system isn't realistic. But what is realistic is that no doubt BRICS will be doing this because they now are the majority in terms of the GDP. So they're now covering more than the G7, which is, the US, Canada, much of the EU, the UK, the former global powers has now been replaced by Russia, China, India, and all the other countries in the BRICS. But this is just a good representation of some of the countries that are already there, some that have joined, and some that have applied. And some of these will be beginning, the 6 new ones at the beginning of 2024. So, I know none of us want to hear that it's going to take a little bit more time, but it simply is the case that these countries, they're not actually officially joining until the beginning of 2024. So we have a little bit more time to go. And, I think it's just a exercise of patience for all of us, myself at the very top of the list, because I want this just as much as all of us to happen tonight. Mm-hmm. And for us to move on and, create this beautiful new world. But this is just a good graph kind of showing really how much control the BRICS truly has now. I mean, you just look at Russia they were talking about years ago, trying to isolate Russia. You're not going to be able to isolate a country that has 12 different time zones. Good luck.
Yeah, no. Mhm.
So, kind of going into Trump and the things going on there. We'll get to that here in a moment, but Jim Jordan, who I believe definitely is doing things on the behalf of humanity, is now launching an investigation into that DA, Fani Willis, in Georgia. So they try to do something, the cabal, good guys step in and, all right, well, now we're going to investigate you. We know that this has already been part of the plan. She's probably an actress, but it's good to see that these things are actually taking place in the real world.
For sure. Yeah, finally.
Yeah, exactly. So, the bigger things that I wanted to talk about today, Kristen, this is definitely going to be a shorter show, is some of the things that Trump was saying in this interview with Tucker. I know we both saw the whole thing. I know you loved it too. I loved it. It was great. It was clearly scripted. I mean, very clearly. I'm sure there were some things that were organic, but I think most of it was entirely scripted. And he said a lot of different things. And you can, please chime in with some of the things that stood out to you. But one of the big things was him saying that he dropped the 17 drop. So he said he was given a figure and he said between 10 and 17%. So he's telling people again, 17, that letter, we're on track. Everything's going on course. He talked about Fani Willis, saying her being gone. I'm not going to use the words just to keep your channel safe, but you know what was said. He was saying that she's gone. And that was huge. And then I think one of the big things was the way it was ended.
Yeah, yeah.
And this really stood out. You and I talked about this afterwards. And if people haven't seen the whole thing, really encourage you to watch it. But especially at the end and the way it ended. So they were talking about how Trump's saying how he's never seen such love and such passion in our country and such unity in so many ways. He said, but at the same time, there's a lot of hate too. And he said, really, that's a bad combination. And then him and Tucker kind of went back and forth just very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, bad combination.
Bad combination.
Bad combination.
They ended it. Yeah, I know. Exactly. I loved it though.
So what do you think about that, Kristen? I mean, just your perspective, them saying that, and then I'll chime in my thoughts. What do you think they were saying? And why do you think they ended the interview on that note? Because it was like, they said it, just like you said, and then boom, Trump said, thank you. And then done. It was ended.
Yeah, I feel like it's a cue. It's a cue for all of us, everyone that does watch that, to know that, hold tight, because we're about to show you why that is, why there's such division and who's to blame for all of that, which is the dark, deep cult. So yeah, they're going down. So I think it was a cue for all of us to know, especially us that know about the 17 letter, that whole thing, and the drops that involve all that over all this time. I think it was a message for us to let us know that it's about to happen. It's about to go down. Yeah.
I love it. I fully resonate with that. And that's, honestly what I think too, that they were giving us a little warning and a little heads up. Hey,
yeah,
okay, think for yourselves. What makes sense if you got two sides that are really intense right now? It's a bad combination.
Bad combination, and it has a lot to do with controlling the people. Lying to the people to control them for all these years, for centuries, but it's all going to come up.
Yep, exactly. Now that he's injected in the system, he's going to go in there and blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, and that also reminds me of Trump actually stated something along the lines to, our American people are very smart. A lot of them have figured it out. They've got it figured out. And then a lot of them still are, he said something like that, something along those lines. And I remember we both, that stood out to both of us. But yeah.
Yes, I actually got it right here, and that's a great point. So he said, I think the people of this country don't get enough credit for how smart they are, but they get it. The people
Mhm.
see it's a fraud. And I think
Yes.
this is a double meaning. It's a double
Mhm.
meaning that we see that it's a fraud, that they're even trying to do this to him. And we see that it's a fraud, that really even this whole thing, and he keeps saying it, it's fake indictments, fake charges, fake
Yep.
trial, fake everything. He's not just saying it's, it's phony by the bad guys. He's saying, yes, the whole thing, it's fake,
All of it.
running it
Yeah.
as a show.
Yeah.
And another thing that he had said, I think twice, at least once, but maybe twice, he said, these people are sick. And we
Yeah.
know how many times in those drops that exact line was used. These people are sick. And
Yeah.
that's exactly right. You remember when they were posting and linking to some of the stuff about pizza and that
Mm-hmm.
they were telling us, yes, these people are absolutely crazy and very, very sick.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna watch it again because it was just so good. There's just so many drops. I gotta see it again. It actually, if you guys haven't, if there's some of you that have not seen it, it will empower you. It uplifts you because it's clear. It's clear that we're getting very close to all the exposure, all of it coming to the surface. We just don't know what order, but we know it's coming, especially with the way it ended.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then another line too, Crooked Joe is so bad. He's the worst president in the history of our country. I don't think he's going to make it to the gate, but
Yes.
you never know. So,
Exactly.
as we know, like no one, I mean, if the people who know the fraud that took place in 2020, 2022, we have no interest in 2024. I don't care at all about that, supposed election that's going to take place until we fix what actually did take place. We don't care about the future
Nope.
or, another fixed event. We want to solve and take care of what took place back then. And I think he's hinting at that clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Because honestly, number one, they can't really fix the whole, I have to be careful what words I use, the whole contest, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can't fix that, but they did take it from someone who was the rightful winner. So what is the logical thing? You got to give it back. You don't have to have a whole other contest. You give it back because it was taken. That was the crime. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's gonna be another contest. Nope.
Yeah. We need to fix what was done and then move forward.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so kind of sort of along the same lines, but a little bit different. So this doctor at the NIH has basically, they're looking at new guidelines for alcohol consumption and just different guidance on what they suggest. This is just an interesting story because again, there's different ways to look at things. So this article, and a lot of the stuff on Zero Hedge, I mean, I don't want to say a lot of it, but some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. This, you could really look at it from two different sides. And the reason I'm bringing this up is for this exercise for all of us of, discerning and really kind of seeing, well, this could be one thing, but it could be another. So they're looking at possible new guidance of suggesting only 2 beers a week for your average person. Right now, it's a little bit higher than that. This article is all about kind of bashing that and just saying, good luck trying to get the majority to comply with that. I agree. The majority probably won't comply with that. But what I do agree with is the possible new information of, yeah, we should have new guidance on alcohol consumption. We know it's a terrible, terrible poison that has killed and ruined so many people's lives and families' lives. Why would we not want to suggest lower alcohol consumption? So this is where sometimes, outlets and journalists and just people in general can kind of take things a little bit too far and just assume that this guy is trying to push some sort of authoritarian agenda. And again, he might be. I'm not saying he's not, but what I am saying is, even if there's an agenda with this, can't we all agree that limiting the consumption of alcohol or reducing it is actually a good thing?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's about time, honestly.
Right. And so this is kind of along the same lines with some things we talked about in the past, where even this fake and phony admin, with what they're pushing, some of it is actually quote unquote good. Now, I'd say almost all of it is not. Like, we know that. But this, in this particular instance, this is a positive thing. Like, we don't have to look at this and get angered by it. Oh, they're trying to, cut off our alcohol supply. Well, why are you trying to hurt yourself with that stuff anyways?
Yeah. It's better if you don't want the poison. No.
Right. And I'm not trying to tell people how to live their lives. We know that it certainly, for some people, can reduce stress. We know that life in general can be very stressful. Not trying to push that, on anyone, but just sharing the information. We know that alcohol is a neurotoxin and a toxin in many other ways. So this was more so just about looking at things from two different sides and just trying to discern, what do we as individuals think and view as truth.
Right.
For everyone who's listening, they can certainly disagree with what I'm saying. And, I encourage people looking at this and getting their own perspective on it and what they think is going on.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one of the last things, Kristen, is this Epoch Times article. It's talking about the surprising impact of the moon on our health. And I know that there's a full moon coming up here and that you're going to touch on that here shortly. There are just a couple things that I wanted to bring up on this. So we know that the moon absolutely does affect our physiology, and there's a lot of different studies out there on it. But this one study in Current Biology, a paper, found that people tend to sleep less during full moons. And another study found that people will have more vivid dreams or nightmares during this time. And then they've looked at different EEG activity, specifically the delta brainwave activity. And they found that, it's a little bit less for people around the time of the full moon. And so as the full moon does take place and around that time, people can be more mindful of that, of, okay, maybe I want to take some different nutrients that can help, or maybe I need to try to block out light in my bedroom in a different way, or limit the amount of EMFs that are in the bedroom. Lots of different things that can be done, but they're talking specifically about melatonin and how that impacts the circadian rhythms. And obviously getting light during the day and optimal light exposure helps to set that circadian rhythm and really helps our human physiology in different ways.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. The moonlight itself too. Yeah, very beneficial. It actually can realign your chakras too, I was reading as well. So sun gaze and moon gaze, I encourage it. But we do have the blue moon, the super moon, coming on August 30th. So it is Wednesday. This coming Wednesday and going into the 31st, wherever you are in the world. But yeah, it's right after sunset on the East Coast. So it's going to be beautiful. It is one of the largest. It's going to appear the largest and very blue because it's closest to the Earth. And it is rare, so it only happens every so many years. I don't know the amount of years, but I know that it's very rare, and this is a good one. We don't want to miss it. Pisces, so it's in Pisces. We're in Virgo season, but it is a Pisces blue moon. So your intuition levels are going to be super high. We're going to be more intuitive, more on target to our inner knowing. So you're going to have a lot of clarity. And then mixed with the Virgo season that we're in, you're going to feel pretty grounded. So this one should feel really good. Now, it will make you feel tired. Some of us really tired, or some of us are opposite, and you'll just be super hyper and you're just going to get things done. So it just depends on how you handle, blue moons, but especially full moons. We're all affected differently, but you might be drawn to water more. You might want to go in the ocean or go to a river, whatever you have around you. But that's the Pisces influence. And so grounding yourself and having that solitude to yourself, being alone with yourself. This is an important one. It's a lot of inner knowing and looking within, observing what's not working for you, which is always with the moons. We see what doesn't work, we cut it off and start something else. But this one goes pretty deep. Pisces goes pretty deep. So this is exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time for sure.
Yeah.
And like there's some different nutrients that people can take, and one of them is like the big one that a lot of people know is magnesium. This is something that we don't sell at Ascent Nutrition, so I'm not trying to sell anything here. Magnesium is very beneficial for sleep. There's different herbs and roots and things like that that can help too. We do offer some things that help, but one of the big ones is magnesium, and it's something that I take almost every night to help with sleep.
Yeah.
And just, kind of really does help put a person to sleep and helps them stay asleep.
Oh, definitely. And certain food, if you have some snacks around, there's the walnuts or avocado. I see that picture on there. It's just an ad for an avocado. But yeah, there's a lot of magnesium in those foods. So you might want to, up your game in the nutrition department too.
Yeah, exactly. And Kristen, on that note, with Ascent Nutrition, I want to keep this very short, but I want to give something special to everyone who follows your channel. Okay, so
A gift.
just for the next 2 days only. Okay, so today's Sunday, and then through Monday night, we're going to offer 20% off site-wide with your discount code Arcana. Okay. So we're going to change it to 20% off, and it's going to be just for the next 2 days. All right. So if people are interested, if they're already customers or if they're not customers, you can use Arcana, and it's going to get you 20% off every product just for the next 2 days. All right.
Okay. Wow.
I wanted to do this as a thank you to you and to everyone who watches your channel. We aren't offering this at the moment to any other, person who is helping to promote. And so, we thank you, and we want to just offer this to your crowd, everyone who's following, and just really give the best offer possible. Obviously, some of the things that can affect brain health and sleep in general is the algae. The main ones that affect our brain, the algae, the humic and fulvic, the pine needle extract, and of course the lion's mane mushroom.
Oh yeah.
Those impact it and really help neurologically. We've shared a lot of the science with it. We've got a lot of new information coming in the next few weeks, Kristen, that I'll present things in new ways and just show more information. A lot of this stuff I've, repeated over the previous weeks, but we're going to have a lot of new information coming out and really just keep it fresh for people. But in the meantime, wanted to offer this and let people know. And of course, I know that you share this often on your daily shows, and also just, in other shows too, Kristen, which is the fact that we've got the loyalty and rewards program. You participate in it, which is so cool. People literally get points that turn into cash. It's free. There's no gimmicks whatsoever. We're truly just giving away free money so that people can get the best prices possible. And we already have prices that are extremely low compared to what is being offered.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I want to thank you. That's awesome. So you mean this is the only audience that's getting this super, I'm going to call it like the super blue moon deal.
Yes, yes,
Wow. Thank you.
yes,
That's awesome. So Arcana. So only Arcana Shores, only all of you. So you guys, I would take advantage of this and jump on that. I'm going to. I need more coffee and things for sure. But oh my gosh, thank you so much.
yes, yes, of course. Thank you, Kristen, and thank you for everyone who are customers, people new who might become customers.
Yes.
You know, we really appreciate it, and we've got great things in the works, great things coming, and we're just pushing ahead as fast as we can to keep all the good stuff coming out.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited for all the new stuff that's to come in the future. Very exciting. And yeah, is there anything else that we should go over? I think that's pretty much all that we had here. Do you have anything from your special book that you would like to share?
Yes, and then Kristen, I think you sharing some of your readings that you do, and
Oh yeah.
you know, things that where people can find where they can do readings, because I know you've got a lot of momentum with that.
I
And
do.
yeah, and people are really finding benefit from it.
Yeah, yeah. And also, so that reminds me, thank you. The 3-question readings, I am definitely still doing that. So that's a custom video that I can make you guys. So like your top 3 questions in case you don't have a full hour for a sit down. So you send in your 3 questions to quantumnews11@gmail. So now I'm offering a 24-hour turnaround from when your questions are received and you place your order. So once the order's in, then it's 24 hours, I can have it back to you. And then for MaisonJupiter.com, that's a 1-hour consultation, one-on-one. So you can still schedule that. And I opened immediate openings for this week. So this week you could get in right away. I'm taking it week by week and just opening up spots. But that's at MaisonJupiter.com. And then you go to consultations and I'm right down there. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There's Kristen.
Yep.
Yeah, MaisonJupiter.com, click consultations.
Yes.
Kristen's right there.
There it is. Yeah. And I'll put the links in the chat as well as underneath the description of this video. So all the links will be handy and all the Ascent links as well. The affiliate links will be right there for you. But yeah, thanks for that reminder. That's exciting.
Yeah. Thank you too, Kristen. So,
Yeah.
okay, this is just a short little affirmation / prayer statement. And this is from Joseph Murphy, someone that we've read from before.
Mm-hmm.
I am born to succeed. The infinite within me can't fail. Divine law and order govern my life. Divine peace fills my soul. Divine love saturates my mind. Infinite intelligence guides me in all ways. God's riches flow to me freely and abundantly. I'm advancing and moving forward and growing mentally, spiritually, financially, and in all other ways. I know these truths are sinking into my subconscious mind and will now grow after their kind.
That I love that. And I especially love, I think you said divine love saturates my mind. Wow.
Yes.
If we could all stay in, because that would be the highest frequency, highest state of mind, your highest state. Yeah. Wow. The whole thing was great.
Yeah, I agree. A beautiful book. There's a lot of great information in there.
Definitely. Yeah. And it reminds me too, this week, I'm going to be doing another video on the archangels. So stay tuned. That will be uploaded this week as well. So archangel videos. I didn't choose which ones yet, what angels to do it on yet, but it's coming. And that was a beautiful, beautiful prayer for sure. Thank you. And you did an awesome job once again hosting the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, I feel like we have definitely gone through all the messages that needed to be spread today. I will leave you guys with one more card pull.
Yes.
I'll do one more card pull. And let's just see going into this week. So starting this week, because it is Sunday. So let's just see how we're gonna do with starting, because these are the post or the shadow days right before the super moon. So let's just check the energy of the collective for the days leading up to this blue moon. This is crazy. All right, you remember the first poll that I did and we got the Hierophant? Now I'm using the gold cards and I'm getting the Hierophant again. So that's,
Wow.
yeah, confirmation. So go within, remember your values, remember what's important to you. Don't let anyone try to sway how you feel about something. Stick to what you know, what's true to you, and don't be, don't apologize for how you feel. So you got the Hierophant. That's awesome. 9 of Cups, content energy. So I feel a lot of us are going to feel pretty content. We're going to be happy. 9 of Cups, that means you're happy with what you have. So you're not like wishing for other things. You may desire things and manifest things, but you're not like being needy or anything. You're feeling content. So let's see. Then you get the 5 of Pentacles and then the 2 of Cups. So uplifting others. You got the 5 of Pentacles. So others that may be around you that maybe aren't, they don't really know about the moon or even really care that much about what's going on. But some of them may be affected and might not feel so good. They might be kind of down. So that's when you want to uplift. So come together in union, uplift, give them good messages, compliments, whatever you can do. Just uplift someone or show an act of kindness. Definitely with the 2 of Cups there. And then the 7 of Cups, a lot of you, most of us, will be very energized from this super moon. So a lot of different projects. It's almost like a Gemini energy when there's just so much you want to do. You don't know where to start. It kind of drives you nuts. But this is good. That's creativity. So Pisces energy, yep, definitely. More creative, more intuitive, and then more loving too. So uplift others. So this is good. It's great for leading up to the supermoon.
That's awesome, Kristen. That's so good to hear.
Yeah. So I think that was a good message for the end of the show. But I hope you guys loved it, and we will see you next Sunday. Have a great one. Thank you, Lance.
Thanks, Kristen. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.